Hello guys, welcome back to a new video, and today we are gonna do something special, and that's the endless brake pads. So this video is gonna be like a jump forward and backwards in time, because as I'm filming the intro, I have driven 2 days of Nürburgring with the endless pads. So I can give you a pretty rough understanding of how good they are compared to the EBC Yellowstuff. But first, I'm going to show you the install of the pads, and then in the install I'm probably going to talk a little bit about the Yellowstuffs. And once that's done, I'm going to come back to you, and then we are going to talk about what I think so far of the endless pads, because of course it's only been 2 days, so I need to get more experience on them. So yeah, see you guys back when the brakes are on. Now is a good time to talk about the Yellowstuffs and what I think about them. To give you some information on what these pads have been through, about 43 laps on the Nürburgring, and 3 times Zolder, but then Zolder was 2 times 1 hour and 1.5 hours, so 2.5 hours of Zolder. 43 laps on the ring, some laps harder than other ones, but for the price I think they did pretty well. So of course I don't have much material to compare with, because this is my first set of performance pads. So I went from the OEM pads or like Brembo OEM pads to Yellowstuff, and from stock to this was a big difference, because they can handle the pressure of track driving a lot better. You don't smell the brakes when you're driving on track, so that's a pretty big plus. The only thing that they're missing is bite. So they don't have bite. It's not a track pad, it's more of a performance street pad, I guess. So there's not really that much bite. But for moderate to hard driving, they work fine. Of course, if you have a heavier car or drive a lot faster, they won't do the job, but if you're just starting out, I think they do the job pretty well, especially for the price, because of course everything is relative. Of course Endless is going to perform better, but the price is yeah, that's where the price is. So would I recommend these to start out with if you're not a hardcore track guy, or you're just casually or just starting out? I think it's a great pad. If you're driving hard, for example, I did 8:45 on the ring with these pads. They just perform fine. It's not that fast, but it's the speeds are getting higher. The only downside, when you get close to the limit or like close to those speeds, the pads start becoming a little more unreliable in terms of braking power. So yeah, you don't exactly know how much braking power you have once you're pushing it. So you can estimate about 90% of the braking power. If you know, how can I explain it? So if you're getting close to the limit, the pads start to become a little bit more inconsistent. So the braking force is sometimes a little bit different than the turn it was before. Of course, if you're not driving on the limit, that doesn't really matter, because you're braking for 70%, but once you're going hard and you're going close to like 90% of your braking power, then these pads start to, yeah, they don't work that well anymore. But of course, for the price, they're great. Put everything back on and then do that 3 more times. Alright, everything is bolted down, the wheels are torqued down. So it's time to go for a drive to bed in the brakes. I still need to look for the instructions on bedding in the brakes. I think it was like 6 stops from 80 miles per hour to 20 or something. But I'm gonna search up the exact specs and grab the GoPro, and then we're gonna go for a drive, bed in the brakes, and probably once I've hit the Nürburgring again, I can give you a full opinion on the endless beds. So yeah, let's start bedding in the brakes. Alright, so I searched online and I found out that the way to bed in the brakes is to go from 110 kilometers an hour to 20 and do that like 10 times. Should lay down a layer of pad on the discs, so the performance is good. So we're driving to a spot now where we can actually do 110 and brake without interrupting anyone. So yeah, I'm just super careful on the brakes now. I try to brake as little as I can, just so I don't ruin the bedding in process. Not that it will ruin it, but let's get up to speed. So we're back. It's now, I did 1 weekend of TF driving on the endless pads. So I have the ME20 pads, E36 M3 in the front and just standard 323i in the rear. The bedding in process was like the most important to have a transfer layer of the disc on the pad. So I sanded the disc a little bit because I used because there was a little bit of old pad material on there, and yeah, I just first the bedding in, and then I think after 2 laps the bedding in was like fully done, because you could really feel that like the brakes were getting stronger and stronger. Also because of the heat, but also because there was a better layer. So because I have done 2 days of TF, I can't really tell you much about them yet. Just that the braking power is incredible. Nothing I've ever felt before. That's mostly because I had EBC Yellowstuff before, so that's not really comparable to the big step that this is. Probably like a Praget or Carbon Lorraine is more comparable to this, but I'm gonna try these, see how they work. We got some more TF coming up this year. And then after that I'm probably gonna have more of an opinion if I do like consistent laps back to back or stuff like that, so we have more experience on track with the pad and like different circumstances. But the power, like when cold, it's just like any other race pad. It's just normal street power, but when they got hot, the power is just immense. I can just push the pedal halfway and just almost push it into the ABS. I also once like did like 70% and I locked the wheels. So yeah, it's a pretty strong pad. I can't wait to test more on it, drive more on the limit of them, and then I'll come back to you later probably with what I think of the pads itself. But now that I've driven with the Endless and compared to the Yellowstuff, it's a whole different world. In the install I said the Yellowstuffs weren't too bad. I still think that for a starting pad and not really a track pad, it's a normal pad. But in terms of like consistency, braking power, it's not comparable to what the Endless are. So that's what I can say for now. The Endless are 10 times better in terms of power, but the price is also a lot higher than the Yellowstuffs. The Yellowstuffs are great for a starting pad. That's my opinion right now. This was my first like performance pad I chose, starting with truck driving. So that's a good pad for me. I pushed that pad to the limit, I would say. And then now it's time to get the next step. And the next step is Mega. So thank you guys for watching the install. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope this is enough review for now, just because I can't give you too much information because I haven't experienced it myself fully yet. So once I've done that, I can come back to you and tell you more about how they are and how they perform. So thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.